Norman Rockwell was a painter and writer who lived about 60 years ago. Since he was a writer as well as a painter, he loved to use his paintings to tell stories. That's one of my favorite parts about art. You can tell stories without even talking. All stories come with three big parts. The first part is the character or characters of a story, the people, animals, or other beings in a story. Can you point to the characters in Norman Rockwell's painting? The second part of a story is the setting. This is where and when a story takes place. Long ago? In the future? At a museum? In the summer? Can you say the setting in this painting? The final ingredient of a story is the plot. The plot of a story are the events that happen in the story. So, what happened at the beginning? What happened in the middle? What happened at the end? Can you tell the plot of this painting? What's happening? What's the plot? Now it's time for us to be like Norman Rockwell and use art to tell a story. We're going to make sure our picture has all the parts of a story. You can choose to draw any story you want. A story you heard somewhere, a true story, a fairy tale. I chose to draw a story I've heard before, a Disney movie called Brave. In this story, Princess Merida and her mother are the main characters. The setting is long ago in Scotland, a place with ancient ruins, green mountains, beautiful forests. The plot of the story is that Merida accidentally had a witch turn her mother into a bear, and the only way she could lift the spell was to fix and sew back together her mother's tapestry. Before we start our drawing, let's practice drawing people and animals with shapes. It's okay to use stick figure people and animals to tell your story, but it looks even more impressive when you use shapes instead. One way you can draw people and animals is to use a shape called an oval. It's not a circle. It's taller and skinnier than a circle. So, use an oval, not a circle, to draw a head at the top of your whiteboard. Then add a torso, or a body with a bigger oval underneath. After that, add arms and legs with really long, skinny ovals. Finally, add hands and feet with tiny little ovals at the ends of the arms and legs. Once the body is done, you can add details like clothes, hair, and a face. The details are going to help you tell your story better because you'll be able to see what the character is like. Is it a boy or a girl, a human, a ghost, what? After you add details, you might have to do some erasing to make that picture make sense. You can also use ovals to draw animals. You know, a lot of animals have the same main body parts as humans. They have a head, a torso or body, and arms and legs. What makes each animal different are the details: the ears, the face, the tail, and how fat or skinny it is. Another way to draw a character, a person, or an animal with shapes is to use rectangles. Rectangles have 4 straight sides. 2 are long and 2 are short. Let's get started. Use an oval to draw the head. Use a teeny tiny rectangle to draw the neck. Draw a big rectangle for the torso or the body. Use skinny long rectangles to add the arms and legs. Feel free to draw the arms and legs at different angles to tell your story better and show what the character is doing. Is he dancing? Does he have his hands on his hips? Add details at the end and erase what you need to. You can also use rectangles to draw animals. Right here, I draw a cow with long, skinny legs, some horns, and some spots. The tail also is made of a rectangle, and it helps it look more like a cow. Now we're ready to start our drawing with a pencil. First, write your name and code, decorate, and make it disappear. Then start your story drawing by creating your characters. In the story I'm drawing, there are two main characters, Merida and her mom. But her mom spends about half of the story as a bear. So I drew one picture of Merida's mom as a bear and one as a human. Also, I'm going to draw Merida holding something called a tapestry, a hanging rug. This will be important later for the plot of my story. So for Merida, I used rectangles to draw her body and made sure to add her big, crazy red hair on top. She has a face with eyebrows, two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. And she is wearing a dress. Next, I'm drawing her mother as a bear with ovals. The size and placement of my ovals are what help make this bear look like a bear. So I used a big giant oval for the bear's body and then shorter ovals for the legs, because all the pictures of bears that I've seen, they kind of look like that. Their bodies are huge, their legs are shorter. And here I go, drawing Merida's mom as a human with rectangles and a dress. Her mom's hair is not as wild as hers, so I'm going to draw her hair straight, like the story. All your characters need a face. Two eyes, a nose, and a mouth, at least. Merida's mom is a queen, so I decided to draw her with a crown as well. Now I have the characters of my story, the who of my story. Next, it's time to draw the setting of my story, where and when it happened. There are many ways to add a setting to a drawing. Drawing a sun or moon in the sky can help tell what time of day it is, day or night. Drawing snowflakes or raindrops will help show the weather. Drawing plants and trees and maybe buildings will help show what the setting of your story is too. If your setting is outside, you could also draw a river or a lake, any type of water, or even mountains. The clothing that your characters wear will also help tell the setting or time of your story. So Merida and her mom are wearing big poofy dresses, which helps you know that this story took place a long time ago. Because we don't exactly wear clothes like that anymore, do we? Nope. So here I go. I'm going to draw the stone ruins from the story, the big standing rocks. I'm going to use my eraser to get rid of the lines that are in the way. I'm going to draw the forest with a bunch of pine trees everywhere. And finish the setting with some Scotland mountains and the witch's cottage. So I'm going to draw a little building right here to show the witch's cottage. That's part of the setting too. And voila, we have a setting, where and when the story takes place. Now that we know who the characters are and where the setting is in the story, the last details will be how to show the plot of the story. Remember, the plot of a story is what happened. The plot of my story is that Princess Merida accidentally had a witch turn her mother into a bear, and the only way to break the spell was to fix her mother's tapestry that she had torn. So to show this, I drew Merida holding the tapestry. It has stitches along the middle, and there's a needle and thread on the ground to show that Merida fixed it. This shows the plot, or what happened in the story. After your story is complete, outline or trace your entire picture and all the details with a black Sharpie marker. Wow, my picture really tells a story. It has characters, a setting, and a plot. A lot to look at. Now it's time to color in your picture. You can use crayons or markers or both. I decided to use both markers and crayons to color in my story. When you are coloring, make sure to use one crayon or one marker at a time and then put it back in the box when you're done with it. A great tip is to hold down the paper with one hand while you color with the other. No peekaboo spots. Color every detail of the picture so that there's color from top to bottom and side to side. You can use lines to add texture to your picture. Here I used curly lines to draw Merida's curly, crazy hair texture. Then I used short, dashed lines to make a fur texture on the bear mama. If your crayon gets nubby, use your thumbnail to peel more paper off. There's more crayon in there. You're going to use the crayons to color in the skin of your characters because the markers don't have very good skin colors. Skin comes in a lot of different shades and colors. It's so amazing and beautiful. And to make different skin colors, you will use a mixture of peach, brown, pink, and yellow to create the skin tone you're thinking of. Color lightly with the color you don't want to be the main one. So pink, I don't want my skin to be super pink, but I want it to be kind of pink, so I lightly colored the skin with pink. And then I used the main color for my skin tone, which would be peach, and I pressed hard with the peach crayon to color on top of the pink, and it made it mix together. Once your picture has characters, a setting, and a plot, and you've colored in the entire thing, you're done. I can't wait to read your story drawings.